also brings us Texas Rangers manager Bruce Bochy. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are we doing?
We're doing great, and I would love your feedback. I know it just went down on the Robbie Grossman trade, and we heard that he's en route to Oakland with the hope that he can make it for this doubleheader.
Right. He's landing as we speak right now, so he will be here for the doubleheader. I don't have him start right now. He's coming in from Atlanta, got up early, just a little concerned there with the travel and the 5-6 hour flight, getting off the plane and getting him heated up. So we'll use him off the bench, hopefully in a big situation. But it's good to have Robbie back. He's a good teammate that I know the guys are excited to have back. So for this doubleheader, we have him off the bench.
There are some legendary stories of guys getting traded and maybe not having their name stitched into their jersey or having to wear somebody else's number. Do you think we'll have Robbie's number prepared for today?
I didn't check with Brandon Boyd, who's our clubhouse manager, but I'm sure he's on top of everything. But, yeah, good question. I'm sure he just, went back to the archives and brought one back here.
Awesome. I'm kind of curious, like your take on Robbie, how he fits in, what he can do for you guys, and what maybe y'all were missing that he will add to this club.
Yeah, well, Robbie's here to help us against left-handed pitching. As you know, it's been a little bit of a struggle for us. So, with his success off of lefties, that gives us a nice bat kind of toward the heart of the order. He's a good on-base guy. He can do some damage against lefties, so that's where he'll see most of his playing time. We have quite a few left-handed bats, as you know. So, looking forward to having him help us really everywhere. I mean, play outfield, obviously. If a guy needs a day off, whatever, then we have a really good veteran that is going to help us in different ways.
Do you feel like this might affect what your approach is with Wyatt Langford, whether he sticks around in the big league or goes back to or down to the minors based on how Robbie does, or does this trade affect that at all?
Well, I think it's something we'll see down here, what we end up doing here with Wyatt once we get him healthy. We'll cross that road bridge when we get to it. But Wyatt, will need some at-bats on the rehab, and so we'll see where he's at. But you don't know, at that point, where you at as far as health of the ball club, where you may need help. So he's going to be a big part of our team. So I can't answer right now when.
I know they aren't anywhere near as prevalent in today's game, but obviously the doubleheader was romanticized. I loved it as a kid growing up. How did you feel about the doubleheader as a player and now as a manager?
I like them. I don't mind them at all. I think, that's, from my younger days too, as you just mentioned, that's when my dad took me to the games at RFK in Washington, D.C. is when they had a doubleheader. We get to 2-for-1 again. And so I grew up with it too. And then, as I played in the minor leagues, we would have them. And if we had a scheduled doubleheader, that meant we get a day off somewhere. So, that works. You take that. And but it's a little bit of a challenge, I think, with today's game because, guys probably aren't stretched out as much, as far as playing that doubleheader. So it's a big adjustment. Now, in the doubleheader today, we got a lefty-righty, but the second lineup will be quite a bit different. But there are guys that are going to be playing too. Nate Lowe, for example, Marcus, Hines going to DH the first one. He'll catch the second one. Good chance Duran's playing both, one in the left field, one at third base. So anyway, this takes a little bit of scrambling to make sure you don't overwork somebody here.
I just want to make sure I understand on the pitching front as well. Jack Leiter is up, but is he up as the 27th man and he'll go back down immediately once the doubleheader is over and it's actually Owen White that's going to be up to stay with the club for now?
Yeah, Jack will be the 27th man, so that's what we're going to use him as. He'll start the second game. Owen will be here available for both games. As you know, we did use a pitching up pretty good last couple of days, and so it's good to have Owen here. He's really our only length guy. I'm talking about 3 innings or more. Lads could give us a couple, but with the tough work that Johnny Hernandez had yesterday, that kind of limited us a little bit. He threw 42 pitches in 2/3 of an inning, and so we're hoping to get 1 inning out of him yesterday, 2 from him today. So it's we're covered, but I may have to give these guys a longer leash.
I wanted to kind of go back to what Kevin was talking about with the doubleheaders real quick, because you mentioned that you enjoyed that whenever you were a kid, getting to go experience that. It is that kind of a juggling act with the doubleheader, trying to figure out how to get all those guys their time and also keep them fresh and all that. Did you start playing those games in your mind when you were a kid? I'm always kind of curious when you started playing manager games with yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if it started then, but in my earlier times as a manager when we had doubleheaders, yeah, you do spend some time on it, especially on the pitching side, but also on the position player side. The last thing you want to do is break somebody down, but you know what? They used to do it a lot. It was part of baseball. It's just not that now, and I do prefer the way we're doing it now instead of this doubleheader thing where you're sitting around for 4 or 5 hours. Those are tough. I mean, guys get heated up, play a game, and sit around and have to get heated up again. That's when I think you're more at risk. So, but we'll see how this first game goes. I kind of mapped it out a little bit for you, but it's all about adjusting on the fly, and we'll see how the first one goes.
I was listening to you with Eric Nadell yesterday on the pregame show, and you said Urania, you were like about 60 pitches for him. And then I looked up and I was like, oh man, he's at 74 already. And that's kind of gone past. What was it that you were seeing about him that you were just like, no, just keep the kid out there today?
Yeah, that's a great thing about being a manager. You have the right to change your mind. So, hey, the second inning, I mean, that was a tough inning. We made him throw 40 pitches or whatever, but he just got better as he went. He was getting quick routes. But more importantly was when he was coming off the mound, he was looking at us, kept going, one more. And then next inning, And so this was a credit to him, how determined he was to find a way to give us 5 innings and find a way to get that win. And, he's a man. For what he did, he hadn't done that in a while. 90 pitches, kudos to him. And I thought what was impressive is how he maintained this stuff. And like I said, probably got a little bit better. The ball started sinking a little more. He got a little better command. And, of course, we really played really crisp defense the last 3 innings of his at work.
You guys have been getting some really top-notch starts and some really great-looking stuff from your pitchers. We had John Gray on the show yesterday. He's been thriving. Andrew Heaney as well. I'm curious, maybe for both of them, maybe a little bit more for Heaney. What have you seen from his stuff in these last 2 starts that maybe wasn't as apparent in the first month of the season?
Yeah, I just like it, the pace he's had out there, and I think it just has improved his command. He's just pounding that strike zone with all his pitches, but his stuff has gone up too. He was pitching a 93 here, so when he's got that little extra hop, he is that much more difficult to hit. So, no, he's just gotten better. It's not uncommon, starting the season, guys are still getting in the mold of, finding that rhythm and that good pace that makes it work for him. And so I think he's in a really good place now.
One of the things that John Gray told us yesterday that I thought was a really excellent answer is he's not as worried about his velocity. I know it's down just a tick, but he said, I kind of stopped worrying about it and focused on movement on my pitches, location. Do you feel like sometimes in a velocity world, people get lost a little bit on the other parts of pitching?
No doubt. And it kind of drives me nuts, to be honest, when pitchers they're looking up there, and there's maybe a mile or 2 miles an hour down below what they normally throw. Now what they do, they try to add a little bit, and when they try to add a little bit, they usually don't have the same command. 94 works. You don't have to have 95, 96. Yeah, if you have that, it's great. But if not, you pitch with what you have that day, and don't compound the problem by trying to add on. And so that's the biggest message we get, try to get to these guys. It's all about hitting your spots. And so good for Johnny that he said that, John Gray, because that's the only way it's going to work. If you get caught into it, and I'll give you a quick story. Brad Penny, I don't know if you remember
yes.
Brad Penny.
Marlins.
Yes.
Yeah, big, he had a little bit of an ego with his velocity. So he was the 98 guy. Well, he came in, he's with the Dodgers. So I told our radar, you can't do it anymore because it's run by MLB, but I told our radar guys to drop the gun down to about 90, 91 when he threw. He kept looking there and looking up there. He kept trying to throw harder. We laugh about it now. He ended up pitching for me, but he still gets on me for doing that to him. He said, without question, it affected him in a big way. He didn't know what was going on. So, but that gamesmanship is over.
We actually saw the flip side of that. If you see, I know our co-host Mikey Bassick is out there doing TV. He said he did a tryout for a team and he registered at 91 on the radar, and then they said they wanted to sign him, and he goes, "Hey, tell them not to sign me. I don't actually throw the ball 91 miles an hour." And so he was like, that radar gun was too high.
Yeah. And then, to that point, some of them aren't as consistent, I don't think. Kansas City, that one would bounce back and forth. So I don't know what was going on there. I mean, one pitch was 97, next pitch was 91. So not quite sure what was going on.
I did notice yesterday Evan Carter had the moment where he lost the ball in the sky, and then maybe an inning or two later, he's wearing the sunglasses out there. And in my mind, Boch, you had brought all the outfielders together, and you said, I have managed in this Bay Area for quite some time, guys. You got to trust me. Put the sunglasses on. Was there a conversation, and what is it like playing in Oakland?
You know what? It was a beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful. And it's a day game. It's sun. I mean, we played in spring training. Sunglasses don't work on top of the hat. And so, Will Venable, he handles the outfield, and told him, hey, it's just not acceptable. And, you got a bright sun out there and you don't have your glasses available to use. And so anyway, it's all a teaching moment when you have something like that happen.
This will be games 6 and 7 against Oakland this year. And honestly, I mean, I know they have a losing record, but Oakland has been one of the surprise stories of the Major League season thus far. What have you seen from them that has made them perhaps more competitive than some folks anticipated this year?
Yeah, I saw him in spring training. I know Mark Kotsay well. He played for me. He was excited in the fact that he knew they would be better this year. They do damage. They look to the slug and, try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. So offensively, I think they're going to put up more runs. And their pitching is a lot better this year. They're one of the best bullpens in baseball, the back end of they're two big boys there. And but the starters do a good job. The guy we're facing today, I mean, he no-hit us to the 6th or 7th this year, so he's tough. And but it's a team that plays well, and I think they've done a good job of making a lot of improvements to the club.
Well, hopefully it'll be a beautiful day out there today, and let's play 2.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that works. And play 2. Hey, we're off tomorrow. So I told them you're off tomorrow. You can just go all out here. I'll give them all the day off tomorrow.
Awesome.
That's good.
Thank you very much, Boch. We appreciate the time as always.
All right. You got it, guys. We'll see you.